Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Swiped. And this is a new biopic from director Rachel Lee Goldenberg from 20th Century Studios, starring Lily James as Whitney Wolfe Herd, the founder and former CEO of the dating app Bumble. And this film is inspired by her story that's like trapped behind an NDA through her time with Tinder and helping that grow as a company, and then being forced out through really shady, disgusting sexual harassment, and then, her finding her own and being involved in creating Bumble. And this film, I think, struggles from one aspect of being very by the numbers and straightforward from a filmmaking standpoint. There's some interesting choices of editing and stuff. There's a downward spiral montage at one point in the film that feels like it's the only time in the film where there's some inspired different types of choices from a filmmaking standpoint, and I appreciated that when it happened. It kind of shook up the monotony of this pretty standard, straightforward visual storytelling. And also from a narrative standpoint, this film hits so many expected beats. It doesn't really stray away from this very linear and very limiting approach to telling the story. And there's elements here that feel so blunted and lacking of any nuance or complexity, where it's just like everything was so obnoxiously just black and white, and where it was so like character level of just bad men being bad men, and not really a whole lot of real tension because you see it coming a mile away, and the film doesn't really do anything interesting with it. The film also makes a choice of spending like over 2/3 of this movie on her downfall, the down spiral of Tinder, but then it's such a truncated experience through this time-jumping montage of like the successes of Bumble, and then some of the not-so-great elements that come about because of, choices of her investor. But I feel like Lily James gives a very strong performance. She's very empathetic. Dan Stevens is so strange and weird in this film, but like weird in an entertaining way that makes him really stand out, because so much of this feels so very bland and blunted. You have the likes of like Clea Duvall and Dermot Mulroney who pop up for like singular scenes and stuff like that, and they're always nice to see popping up in a film, but so much of this is filled with caricature and one-dimensional characters, and it has big themes and important themes, and I appreciate the film trying to tackle those, but it does it with such blunt force and lacking so little nuance or complexity to its approach to the story that I'm not surprised this came out straight to Hulu and feels very much like a disposable kind of streaming film. And it's disappointing because this is a pretty revolutionary story of like how dating had changed, because these dating apps, Tinder and Bumble, and it's very uninteresting in terms of the presentation and the story chosen to focus on, for sure, or the elements of the story they get so much more fleshing out. But those are my thoughts on Swiped. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.